Hey everyone, welcome back to News Channel 5 Plus right here in our studio with Kevin Kennedy tonight, one of our favorite guests to have on Open Line because this is Ask the Attorney. I'm here tonight just kind of guiding the conversation, but you are the conversation.
All right.
Great questions rolling
Go
in.
hit them and get them. Don't you know it, Case?
Definitely. You know, of course, we won't be able to get to everybody tonight. We've got a few callers on the line. Bear with us for a moment here because I want to let folks know about if you can't reach out tonight, you can always give you a call.
Always. Run the calls, and people ask me, say, Kevin, why do you have so many people? Because we do have a lot of calls and urgency. I asked my brother Bruce, he's a lawyer with me. I said, Bruce, what do you think you learned when you became a lawyer? And he said, Kevin, it's a sense of urgency. And I think it's true in ball, I think it's true in the military, and I know it's true in law.
Definitely. All right. So one quick question too for you here. We were talking back to, you know, what if you do get in a car wreck? What should you do? It happens. What do you do next? And
it happens all the time. It's going to happen to some of your family members. One of the first things, try to determine how did the wreck happen so that you don't always get blamed with it. Always try to talk to the police. Sometimes they come and they only talk to one side. You get the police report, guess who they found guilty? You. And sometimes you can avoid them from writing a citation to you. If it's the other people's fault, you can say, officer, are you going to write them a ticket for failure to yield, following too close, all of those things, because if they're charged with a ticket, it kind of says it's their fault and your insurance will make the difference. So one of the first things, report it to your insurance, get your camera out, take some pictures, and listen to this. If you think you were hurt, go immediately and have it checked out. The biggest problem we see is people say, well, I didn't want to act like a baby. Well, guess what? The insurance company said, they didn't go call an ambulance. They weren't hurt. You can already anticipate their position. So don't give them ammunition to use against you. The truth is, if you're not hurt, you know, we're all happy. Praise the Lord. You didn't get hurt, don't make a claim. But if you did get hurt, you probably have to have a healthcare professional look at you, x-ray you, and then evaluate you.
What happens in those instances where, you know, the other person says, no, I'm not hurt, but then a few days later, suddenly their back's hurting a little? And
again, you can always take the picture, run around. Did you see this? What is your name? Where do you live? Did you see that this wasn't my fault? Okay.
All right, great advice.
Proactive approach. That's Kevin Kennedy. Not reactive, proactive.
I think you need to get some T-shirts made that say that.
I like it. I like it. I brainwashed my children all these years.
Yeah, you know, we have another question too here about what if the police would show up?
Oh, the police show up at your house?
Yes.
And they show up at your house?
Let me in.
And they say, can we come in and just look around? Well, remember, you can give up your constitutional right. You can give them permission, or you can say, well, what is this about? And I can hear sometimes the police say, we're asking the questions. Well, then that ought to go up a red flag. True? And remember this, the police now have the little cam and they'll touch it as soon as they make contact with a citizen. Do you have one? No. Do you have the resources to keep it? No. But the state does. So let's use our brains and think of it. You don't have to let these people come in because they walk in, they say, well, we saw something, it's in plain view. We're going to have to charge you.
Okay. All right. Great advice. I believe we have Ricky on line 4. He's been waiting to ask his question. Hi, Ricky. You're on Open Line.
Okay, my question is I've been looking around for a neurologist, and my insurance is Blue Cross of Tennessee. Well, won't nobody take Blue Cross of Tennessee, and everybody I've called is turning me away. So I don't know what I'm going to be able to do now. Do anybody got any good information on that? Any phone numbers of somebody I could call?
Yeah, I would call the commissioner of insurance tomorrow, get one of the representatives and talk. And you see, that's a little con game that's being played. They say, well, I've got insurance. Well, guess what? Nobody wants to work for that insurance company. The doctors say, hey, they won't pay us. If they won't pay us, we're not going to treat you. This is a mighty balancing act that we play because when the doctors cannot get paid, they won't do the service. And if you ever have a government takeover, well, guess what? The doctor said, I'm waiting right now for a Medicare check. It didn't come. And you know what's going on in all these little counties? Hospitals are closing. Why? Because the government hadn't really been paying them what they needed to provide the quality care. So they say, hey, we can't hire the nurses, we can't attract the doctors, close it. Who lost? All the public lost, because when you really need a doctor, you need him bad. So I want you just to be aware of what we're confronted with. Medical is great and grand, but those professionals are going to be expected to be paid, and we have to keep that system going.
All right, thanks for calling in, Ricky. Let's get to Monty on line 1. Been waiting for us. What is your question tonight? Hey there, you still with us? Hello.
Yeah, Monty, go ahead. We're glad to hear from you.
This is Monty. Am I on air?
You're on air. What's your question for Kevin Kennedy tonight?
Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't know. I was
Okay.
just listening. Well, I got 2 questions, and they both may be out of your line of work.
Okay.
I don't know. Well, one of them is about a year and a half ago, a man. I've been hearing about all these guns. I see them everywhere, and a man pulled a gun right in my face, and for absolutely no reason. And I called the White County Police, and I called the Putnam County Police, and they did nothing. I just wonder if there's anything I can do, because I don't like to be that kind of threatened. And my other question is, I'm out here very rural. I'm a mile off the grid, and a mile of road out here. I crossed the White County line and the Putnam County line and back into the White County line. And I went to meetings and talked to everybody I could probably think of to try to get this road graveled or improved. And I just asking for advice.
Okay. First off, I'm very sorry to hear about the men pulling the gun on you. It's a good thing to make everybody aware in the viewing audience here that we live in a real world and people have guns and people will rob you. So you should be looking around. I always say this, you be on guard at all times. Teach your children to be on guard. If we went in the parking lot and it just didn't look right, then don't go in there. So many people come and tell me that they have miscalculated. One of my good friends just came down the steps on a Friday night within the last year, and a stray bullet hit him. So again, if we bring ourselves in the public, that is a risk factor. I'm sorry it happened to you, but you did the right thing. Call the police. If it happens to you, try to get as much detail as you can in that split second. You know, what were they wearing? Did they have tattoos? Did they have blue eyes, brown eyes? Because you're trying to assist the police and try to catch them. Back to your other problem, trying to get the road gravel. Well, then that's the commissioner of the road in each individual county. If it's in Blount County, White County, Montgomery County, or Davidson County, the person who's in charge of the roads is in charge of that situation. So you have to go to them. If you didn't get any relief, you go up the chain, and you can always go to the governor.
All right. Well, thanks again for those calls. We're going to take one more quick break. We'll be right back.